Hello everybody, my name is Diego Escobar and today I'm going to tell about the tips to teach objects. Okay, these objects are direct, indirect and oblique objects. So let's start. Okay, here we have the direct objects. Okay, the direct objects are nouns, proper nouns or pronouns that receive the action of the verb in a sentence. So it's basically affected directly by the verb. Okay, we can see this example. Carlos bought a new car. So the direct object here is new car because it's receiving the action of the verb bought. Okay, the tip number one is we can we can ask to ourselves questions like who or what. We can ask to ourselves questions. For example, in this example here, I play video games. What did I play? And the answer is video games. So the direct object is video games. Okay, the tip number two is that we can use real objects in classes and tell students to make sentence with that object. And also before that, we are going to provide them some examples. Okay, so now let's talk about the indirect objects. Okay, the indirect objects are nouns, proper nouns, and pronouns that are not subjects and are not direct objects. So that are affected by the verb, but not directly. Basically, the indirect object is the reason why the action is done. So we can see here in this example, Cristiano baked Maria a cake. So the action is done in cake because baked is the verb and cake is the direct object. So the indirect object is Maria. Okay, and the tip number one is to identify the parts of the sentence. Uh, we have to identify the verb, the subject, and the direct object, and after the indirect object. So first, in the first example, we can see Cristiano is the subject, baked is Maria, a cake is the direct object, and the indirect object will be Maria. Okay, I give her the computer. The subject is I, the verb is give, the computer is the direct object, and her is the indirect object. The tip number two is to ask the students to ask questions to themselves, like to who, for who, to whom, and etc. As we can see this example, Jose threw the dog a ball. So to who Jose threw the ball, and the answer is to the dog. So the indirect object is the dog. Okay, now let's talk about the oblique objects. And the oblique objects is a complement of a preposition. The oblique object is a noun preposition that is dominated by a preposition phrase. So basically, this is the complement of a preposition, a noun phrase that appears after the preposition. Okay, and the tip number one that we can use is that we have to tell students to find and underline the oblique object in some sentences like this one. She went to the cinema. So students have to underline the oblique object, the cinema, because it's after the preposition to. The tip number two is that the students have to complete sentence with the oblique objects. As in this example, I bought a gift for, and they have to complete Maria. I went to, and they have to complete Loja. This is because Maria is the oblique object because it's after the preposition for. And also in the last question, Loja is the oblique object because it's after the preposition to. So that was all about this topic, and I hope that can help to students with these tips. Thanks for your attention. And also I want to mention that we have to, to know very well these objects and how to identify them, because in order to make a clear and a complete sentence. Thanks.